In this portion, we are going to create the interest rate formula. So this is what this is about. Today, or this one, is the interest rate formula. Before I come up with the formula, let's recap what's happening. Anytime there is money in exchange, there's always two people involved. There is the borrower and the lender, sometimes referred to, depending on what's going on, the investor. These two people are where the money is exchanged. The borrower is the one that needs the money. The lender is the one that has the money and will give it to the borrower. So here we have money being lent to the borrower, $700 in this case. The borrower will agree to pay back the lender the $700 plus another amount called interest, which I will call I. Very straightforward, simple. The issues that arise here is the lender will give the money to the borrower will pay it back, but when will they pay it back and how much are they going to pay back? Are they going to borrow $700, keep it for 100 years, pay back $7 a year and no interest? This is where the terms come in. Because if it's not beneficial to the investor or the lender to lend the borrower money, they're not going to want to do it. And if the investor charges too high an interest rate, the borrower is not going to want to borrow the money either. That's something totally different, and it's a totally different topic, but we need to find the interest rate formula. So here's how this interest rate formula comes into play. There's a word called a term. And this is what the borrower and lender agree upon, how to pay this money back and how much interest to charge. In this example, I'm going to say that they have agreed upon 6%. So what this says is the lender will give the borrower $700 and the borrower will pay back the lender $700 plus 6%. Now 6%, we'd have to calculate it and figure that out, and we'll do that here in a minute. But once again, how long does the borrower have to give the lender back his $700? And how often is this 6% going to be added to the $700? This is where terms come in. Terms, and the words you want to look for are per and for. So we're going to say that this borrower is going to get the money from the lender and pay it back in a 3-year period. So year 0, year 1, year 2, and year 3. Year 1, the borrower will get $700. And then by the end of the 3 years, the lender will have his $700 back. What about the interest? Well, the interest will be calculated per year, and this is where the per and for come into. So our term for this loan will be 6% per year. That means that every year 6% of the $700 is added to the amount of money the borrower owes the lender or investor for 3 years. So the borrower has 3 years to pay that off, and then more than likely they have come up with an agreement where they pay a little every month. But let's do the math now. 6% per year for 3 years. That means that the interest is going to be added every year. So year 1, interest will be added. Year 2, interest will be added. Year 3, interest will be added. We know that they borrowed $700, but then we have to figure out what these interests are. 6%, if we do the math, we know that part whole equals 6 over 100. So part whole equals percent over 100. I know my rate is 6%. I know my whole is 700. So I can rewrite this thing, and I'm going to use I for the interest. So I over 700 is equal to 6 over 100. I use the cross product. I get 4200 equals 100 I. Then I divide by 100 to get 1 I, divide by 100, and I'm going to end up crossing these out. I'm going to have $42 is equal to I. So the interest will be $42 per year for 3 years. So there will be $42 owed for this year, $42 owed for this year, $42 owed for this year. And then the entire amount here is $700. So everything that will be paid back will be the $700, 42 plus 42 plus 42. Here, we can figure out the total interest by just multiplying 42 times 3. So 42 times 3 will get us our total interest. Now if we look at this and think about it for a moment, there's a pattern, a relationship. Where did the $42 come from? It came from 6% of the 700. And how much of the $42 are we going to have? We're going to have $42 every year. So we can come up with a formula. And the formula will be, first of all, we came up with the interest right here. And that is the principal, and I'm going to put it under here, the principal multiplied by the rate as a decimal will give me the $42. But then the $42 is paid every year, and it's for 3 years. And this is called the term. It's for 3 years. So then I add my term. And all this together will give me the interest that I owe. We can check by using a little math. If we take $42 times 3, which is the interest for every year, multiply it out, we get 6, 12, 1. So we have $126 in total interest on that loan. Then, so we can figure this out quicker by using our new formula right here. Principal times rate times time will give me the interest. What do we know? We know the principal is equal to $700. The rate is 6%. Now, as a decimal, that means 0.06. And the term, or time, 3 years. Put it all together, we have 700 times 0.06 times 3 equals interest. 700 times 0.06 is 42. So these two are 42. If you look at that number, it is the same as that number. And that's exactly how we got it. Then we multiplied by 3. 42 times 3, $126. We get the same amount. So there's our formula. Our formula we're going to write is simply the interest that you're going to pay is equal to the principal, the amount you borrowed or the amount you invested, multiplied by the rate or the percentage as a decimal, multiplied by the time or the term that you're going to have that money out. That will be your total interest, and that will be that number. This interest, in this case, will be added to the $700, and you'll have to pay back $700 plus the $126 in interest, so $826. This is what the borrower will have to pay back for borrowing $700. An investor, if this were an investment, will lend somebody borrow $700, or if it were a bank, you put $700 into the bank, and the bank is the borrower. They are borrowing your money. Then they will pay you back 6% per year. After 3 years, the bank will give you back $826. Or if you just leave the money in the bank, the first year you will collect $42 and you'll have your $700 in there. Then the following year the bank will pay you another $42, and the year after that another $42. And this will happen as long as you keep that $700 in the bank. This formula will tell you the interest. You always have to put that interest back into what you borrowed or the money that's in the bank. So this is the formula. Interest equals principal, rate, time. If we use it as a bank example, if I put $400 in the bank at 4% per year, and I left it in there for 5 years, how much money would I have? We're going to do the exact same thing. We'll do 400, the principal, 0.04, the decimal, times 5, the number of years. 0.04, so we would take 400, multiply it by 0.04, and we're going to get 16. So this is 16. And that would be the interest for 1 year. But then we're going to have this for 5 years. So 16 times 5 is 80. So $80. After 5 years, the bank would have paid you $80. So when you go to take your money out, you need to put this money is what you're going to get paid plus that. So we have your principal, $400, your interest for 3 years, or for 5 years, I'm sorry, that's $80. Add it up, so after 5 years, if you're going to go take your money out of the bank, you will have $480. That is simple interest.